class, we are going to see about the chapter 2, the new kings and kingdoms in a video. If there is any doubt arises, ask to me. Thank you.
Let's study about a new chapter called New Kings and Kingdoms. So after the death of Harshavardhana in the AD 700, the empire broke up into smaller states and kingdoms. And then many warriors and chieftains came to power under the kings, and they were called as Samantas or subordinates. These subordinates became powerful than the rulers, and they became independent rulers. And then they occupied parts of northern and western India. So these Rajputs, they occupied northern and western Indian states. Most important Rajput kingdoms were Gurjara Pratiharas of Mandor, Chauhanas of Ajmer, Paramaras of Malwa, and Chandelas of Bundelkhand. And on the east side were Palas, who held sway in the Bengal region. In the Deccan region, Rashtrakutas and Chalukyas were established, and in the South India, Pandyas, Cholas and the Cheras ruled. Then came Rajputs. Rajputs period lasted from 8th to 12th century. These Rajputs were descendants of Kshatriyas. They protected their land and religion with lot of patriotism. They contributed to the politics and culture of the India. And then this period of Indian history was called to be Rajput period. This is a famous Rajput ruler. Next came the Gurjara Pratiharas. They ruled from 6th to 11th century. Many historians say that these Gurjaras came to India with the Huns at the end of 5th century AD. They established kingdoms in Punjab and Rajasthan, and these Pratiharas were the most powerful of various Gurjara clans, and the empire they established was known as Gurjara Pratiharas. Nagabhatta I, he established the Pratihara dynasty and took over the control of Ujjain. Nagabhatta II, he captured Kanauj, the imperial city of Harsha, and then made Kanauj his capital. So this Gurjara Pratihara empire, it broke up into several independent kingdoms in the AD 950. In this image we see the Kanauj triangle. This part was ruled by Gurjara Pratiharas, this by Rashtrakutas, and this by... Next is the Chahmanas or Chauhans. They are believed to be originally a desert type from the Jaipur side, but in the 12th century AD, Ajaya Raja broke free from the Gurjara Pratiharas and he established the Chauhan dynasty. He built his capital at Ajmer. So the best known Chauhan ruler was Prithviraj Chauhan. This Prithviraj Chauhan in the AD 1191 defeated the Muhammad Ghori in the first battle of Tarain, and then this Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated by Ghori in the second battle of Tarain. Next came the Paramaras. They ruled from 10th to 12th century. So they ruled the region around the Malwa, and the famous ruler of the dynasty was Raja Bhoj. The capital of Paramaras was at Dhar. This is the capital city at Dhar. Next came the Palas of Bengal. They ruled from 775 AD to 810 AD. So during this period in Bengal, the people elected one Gopala as their ruler, and his son Dharampala, he founded the Pala dynasty. So both Dharampala and his son Devapala, in their ruling, the Pala kingdom grew to a vast area, and they include the present-day Bengal, Bihar and Odisha parts. These Palas were Buddhists, and they are the last major Indian dynasty to embrace the Buddhism. Next is Turkish invasions. So Muhammad of Ghazni in the AD 1010 to 1026, an ambitious Turkish chief known as Sabuddin, the Amir of Ghazni, he began raiding India, and one of his sons, Mahmud of Ghazni, he attacked India many times between the AD 1010 to 1026, and he took with him vast riches of Indian land. So this Muhammad of Ghazni, he captured Kangra, Mathura, Kanauj, Thaneshwar, Gwalior and Somnath. After 1.5 century, Muhammad Ghori established Muslim rule in India. This is the Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni. Next came Muhammad Ghori. He ruled from the AD 1162 to 1206. He was a general under the Ghori dynasty. Ghor in Afghanistan was a state of the Ghazni Empire, and when the Ghazni started weakening, the Ghoris declared their independence, and then they conquered Multan, Peshawar and Lahore. So the main reason for the success of Turks in India is the lack of unity among the Rajput chiefs. This is Muhammad Ghori's figure. Kingdoms of the Deccan and South India. So these two regions, they enjoyed a period of relatively calmness. And the main kingdoms here were Rashtrakutas, Chalukyas, Hoysalas, Kakatiyas, Kshatriyas, Cholas, Pandyas, Cheras and Pallavas. So these are the kingdoms of the South India in the 1100 AD. The Rashtrakutas ruled from 8th to the 10th century. They ruled over parts of southern, central and northern India. They came to power under the leadership of Danti Durga. So this Danti Durga, he defeated the Chalukyas of Badami and Gurjaras of Malwa and captured Kalinga, Kosala and Srisailam. Then Krishna once succeeded the Danti Durga. Dhruva Dharavarsha, the Rashtrakuta ruler, he defeated the Palas and the Gurjara Pratiharas, and he occupied Kanauj. Amogavarsha I, he established the capital at Manyakheta, and this remained as the capital of Rashtrakuta till the empire ended. Cholas ruled from 1st to 3rd century, but they came to power in the second half of the 9th century in the southern India. Administrative was strong, and it was a combination of a strong center and autonomous village councils, and there was an efficient system of local self-government.